guys, welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would take some time today to talk about my skincare routine. A bunch of you have been asking me to do a video like this for a very long time, and I think the last time I did a skincare video was probably last July. So it's time. My routine since then has changed a little bit. I'm just looking down at the products that I have in front of me. It's changed a little bit, and I'll explain why and my thinking behind it and everything, and also just talk about skincare in general. So if you're interested in hearing about my routine and some products that I use, then just keep on watching. I think when it comes to skincare, there are a lot of things that we don't talk about here on the YouTube community, or even if you are to go to your dermo or go to your counter and purchase like your favorite lotions or anything. And for me, the health of my skin depends so much on things that are completely outside of actual skincare products. And I know this is probably very, very boring to hear. It is also probably not fun at all in any way, but I feel like I would be remiss in not actually mentioning some of these things at least. And this has been my experience for the past, 30 years since I've been dealing with skincare issues in general. So I suffer from eczema. It has definitely calmed down a lot since it first came on the scene, probably when I was about 16. Yeah, I want to say I was kind of like later on in high school. So I was probably around 16 years old, and I had spent a summer away from home. So I was eating whatever I wanted, and it was not good. And when I got home, I had horrible, horrible eczema on my upper lip, all on my forehead, around my eyes. I mean, it was terrible. And ever since then, I struggled with eczema, and I always treated it with some sort of steroid cream or something really, really potent from the dermatologist, something that needed a prescription. And at that point in my life, I was young. The internet was not really a thing, so you couldn't just go online and say, how do I cure my eczema, or what are the causes of eczema? It was like I had to go to a doctor. I was lazy. I was a kid, and I didn't really care to get to the bottom of it. So I just kept using steroid cream after steroid cream. And it was probably when I was into my 30s when I realized, or I decided to accept the fact and face reality and say, this eczema is probably caused by a lot of other things, not just poof, I have eczema. Well, one, I think being in my 40s has helped eczema. I've always heard that if you suffer from eczema when you're younger, it generally just kind of gets better. And when you get into your 40s, it pretty much is at bay. I still get it a little bit. And I have noticed that when I do get it, it has been when I have been completely nonchalant when it comes to my diet. So with all of that being said, and I apologize for the long-winded story, I think one of the most important things for your skincare is your diet. I think your skin is really a reflection of what is going on inside your body. It could be hormonal, it could be allergies, it could be inflammation. I mean, it could be all of these things. And I think your diet either contributes to those things, or you can eat in a way that it helps it. And I firmly believe that it is different for everyone. And I want to say, when I think when I did my first skincare routine, I think this is when I got a few comments, but people were like, oh, your skin looks great, which thank you very much. Your skin looks great. What's your diet? Are you a vegan? And I love how people always assume that if you are sort of a picture of health, that you must be vegan or vegetarian. I am, in fact, the complete opposite. I eat paleo. So I eat a lot of meat and I eat a lot of vegetables. And when it comes to meat, I try and eat grass-fed beef. I try and eat pasture-raised chicken and pork and turkey, because if those meats have additives in them, like if they're corn-fed, then I am in turn eating corn, and that's a grain, and that's something that I try and stay away from. So I implore you, if you have some skin issues, start with your diet. It takes a long time. I will not lie to you in that. It probably has taken me 2 years of eliminating things here and there to realize that the main culprit for me and for my skin and a whole slew of other problems that I've had, including inflammation of my joints, is sugar. All kinds of sugar. So I stay away from sugar. I don't drink alcohol. I avoid carbs if I can. I'm not crazy. If I go out to eat, I will indulge. I'll have a little bit, but when I'm home and I have control over the ingredients, then I definitely stay away from all these things. So sugar for me is the number one culprit for poor skin health, for poor health in general. So that's boring topic number one. Boring topic number two, and then we'll actually move on to the skincare products. Boring topic number two is you need to figure out a way to relieve the stress in your life. If you don't relieve the stress in your life, I don't think it matters what products you use, your skin will never ever be at its best. And for me, the only way that I can relieve stress in a healthy way is exercise. If I don't exercise for a long time, I will definitely see my complexion. My complexion will appear very, very dull. I will start to not sleep very well, which is very odd for me because if I had to name a superpower that I have, it would be sleeping. I can sleep basically anywhere, at any time, standing up. You leave me alone, basically unattended for too long, I will be asleep. So if I don't keep up with like my regular exercise routine and my sleep kind of starts to go, all of a sudden I'm stressed. All of a sudden I can't deal with things very well. And then you'll start to see it in my skin, you'll start to see it in my daily life, and it's not good at all. So anyway, for me, that's the start of healthy skin, is your diet and relieving your stress, finding a way to relieve your stress. All right, so before I jump into the products that I use, quick background on my skin and who I am. I'm 44, I'm gonna be 45 next month. How exciting. And like I've mentioned, I suffer from eczema, but I've always suffered from dry skin. It is sensitive in that there are just a few ingredients here and there that my skin just does not like. So I like to actually refer to it more as it being kind of moody, because I can use like really harsh exfoliators and it's fine. It's not sensitive in that way, like sensitive to the touch. It's just moody. But it is definitely dry or on the drier side. But I will say, and this is actually a very funny thing, again, I don't know if this is my age, but since moving to Vegas, my skin has actually become less dry here in the desert. I think the humidity back in New York wreaked havoc on my skin and it just didn't know what to do. But I think my skin is actually compensating for the dry climate here, and it's less dry. Isn't that funny? So anyway, let's get into the products that I use. So in the mornings when I wake up, the first thing I like to do is take something like this cleansing spa water from Kogendo, a really gentle makeup remover, micellar water type of product. I'll just wet one cotton pad and I'll just wipe it all over my face. That's just to kind of clear my skin of any creams or anything that I may have put on the night before that have just maybe settled around my eyes, my nose, my mouth, and just kind of give my skin a fresh start. So I'll do that first thing. I'll let my skin breathe a bit. I will go to the gym at that point. If I have to run a couple errands, I will do that. And then when I come back and I shower, that is when I will use a very gentle kind of face cleanser. So the two that I've been using is the Glossier Milky Jelly Cleanser. It has a very subtle rose scent, which is very, very nice. It has a really interesting consistency. It is definitely like a thick but smooth kind of jelly, and it just feels really, really nice. It does leave my skin feeling like a little bit tight, so I'll reach for this cleanser maybe after I've worked out. If my skin is just like super sweaty, oily, I feel like just, stuff is coming out of my pores, I'll use this one. But if I need something a little bit more gentle and moisturizing, I've been loving this facial cleanser. This is the Josh Rosebrook Complete Moisture Cleanse. And this is a glass bottle, so it's really, really weighty. It has a nice pump at the top. Oh, I should mention, the one thing I cannot stand about this Glossier Milky Jelly Cleanser is this pump. Like when you press it down, it gets stuck and you kind of have to like pick at it to get the pump to come back up, and then you can press it again. Anyway, minor issue, but very annoying. But I really, really love this moisture cleanse. This is great. If my skin's feeling just, kind of normal for my skin, maybe on the drier side, if I haven't just worked out, if I don't feel like I need something a little bit more intense, this is great. It just feels so nourishing. I will link to this product down in my description box because there are a lot of really great natural organic ingredients. That's what this whole line is about, this Josh Rosebrook line. I have something else from his line in here as well that I love, but that's what his line is all about, and it is made in the US. So anyway, I will use this. So those are the two cleansers that I'll use in the morning if I don't have any makeup on. And then after I'm done cleansing, I will go ahead and use some toner. And the one that I love is the La Mer The Tonic. It just feels so great on the skin. It's not drying at all. And toner just restores the pH balance to your skin so that it's ready to kind of accept all the other skincare products that you're about to put on. So this is the toner that I've been loving. After that, I will use a serum. And this whole entire serum step is actually relatively new. I've only been doing this maybe for a couple several months now, but definitely new since my last skincare routine video. And I've been using the Descorté Vi Fusion Essence. This is a micro treatment fluid serum. I really love this stuff. I purchased this in January when I was in New York City, and I use 2 pumps every day, and this bottle is still going strong. There is a lot of packaging going on here, so I don't actually know how much product I have left. because it feels heavy, but I think that's the bottle. But I've continued to use this product because my skin feels so soft. It feels like really, really like baby soft after I use this product. So I just became a sucker for this, and now I'm like, great, now I have to use a serum in my skincare routine because I'm sold. I'm totally sold. So that's the Descorté Vifusion Essence. And again, I'm linking to all these products down below. I think it's probably better for you to read off of the website all of the special ingredients and what their claims are than for me to kind of just ramble and probably get it wrong. So anyway, that's the serum that I've been using. So the next step I do in my morning routine is I use a neck cream. And this is definitely a new step for me. I never used a separate neck cream. I would just kind of use my face cream and just kind of like bring it down. But I got this firming neck cream from Amora Vixa in one of my like gift with purchase, something like that. Anyway, this is a very, very, very generous size for a gift with purchase. This is a half a fluid ounce. I've been using this for at least a couple months now, and I've made a pretty good dent in there, but I still have plenty to go. So I started using it because I have these lines here, which I think many people have, so whatever, I'm not too worried about that. But I started noticing like right down here that my skin started to look a little bit crepey, I guess you could say. I was gonna say like thin and wrinkly, but crepey would be the word. And I thought, well, let me give a neck cream a try and see if it helps or whatever. And I think it has helped. I think it's made this skin a lot more supple and more firm. I had a little bit kind of coming down here, and I feel like it has definitely receded a little bit, which is nice. So I'm definitely happy with this. This has definitely been good for me. So I'll just use that along the neck, and then on my face, I'll go ahead and use an oil. So there's been a lot of controversy about when to use oil. Some people believe you should put a cream on and then put the oil on, because if you put the oil on first, your cream won't be able to penetrate. So I recently got a facial from the Sicily counter at Saks here in Las Vegas. And the esthetician came in and she was, doing the whole thing on me and all the products and blah, blah, blah. And so I asked her, I said, look, you need to clear something up for me. What's this debate about when to use facial oils? And she said that you should use a facial oil first, after a serum, but before your skin cream. And I said, well, why? Because a lot of people feel, that it won't penetrate, blah, blah, blah. She said serums and oils are developed to help your skin underneath your actual dermis, the actual surface of your skin, where creams and lotions are developed to help your actual dermis. So she said you want to put an oil on first, but you definitely want to let it sink in and then put the cream on top, because the cream is supposed to just sort of sit on top of your skin. It really isn't supposed to penetrate as far as the serum and the oil. So I said, all right, you've convinced me. I will start using my oil before my cream. And she said, yes, she would definitely recommend that. I use the oil now after my serum, and I've been using the La Mer, the Renewal oil. I just started using this. It's very nice. It's a little bit thinner than the oil I'd been using previously, which is the Sunday Riley Juno oil, but I ran out of this, which is why I decided to try the La Mer. This one is a little bit thicker of an oil. It also smells very organic. It was a scent that I had to get used to. Once I got used to it, it was fine. So I liked this oil a lot. In fact, I think I have a backup of this in my backup closet, but I decided to give this La Mer a try. But this has only been, I think I hauled this with you guys, maybe a month since I started using this. And it is lovely. Again, it's a thinner texture than the Sunday Riley, so I do feel like it penetrates my skin much more quickly. And this is definitely fragranced. Very, very subtle, but it has that La Mer fragrance to it. So it's very nice, but I can't really give you a review on this yet. And then at that point, I will put on my eye cream, and I have been using this La Prairie Skin Caviar Luxed Eye Lift Cream for a very long time, and I think maybe I'm about halfway through at this point. I've been meaning to give you guys a full review of this particular cream for a very long time, so I will just give it to you now. I love it. I think it's great. Most eye creams that I've used in the past have ended up giving me milia. This does not, and in fact, when I first started using this cream, I had a bit of milia right here, and this cream actually helped it go away. So I was like, that is really, really great. And the other thing I like about this cream It does not give me eczema, which is another thing a lot of eye creams give me. I'm a big fan of La Mer skincare products, but the La Mer eye cream, because it's so concentrated, there's an ingredient in there, I think it's the red algae, that actually brings out my eczema. It's like it's too much. This eye cream does not do that. So if you have sensitive skin and you've had maybe a similar issue with the La Mer eye cream, I recommend this. This has been great. I've also noticed like a reduction in just general texture around my eyes. And I'm not talking fine lines. I'm talking like I'll have sometimes like just this weird, I don't know, bumps. Like it's just this really kind of faint texture under my skin. It almost looks like, I don't know, like lizard skin. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'll have it like right here underneath like the inner corner of my eye. And this has definitely helped reduce that as well. So I don't know if that was maybe like a form of melia, like clogged pores in a way, but this has definitely helped really kind of like smooth out my under eyes. So I'm enjoying this eye cream quite a bit. It is really, really lovely. And then for daytime, I've started using this Sicily Comfort Extreme day skincare for very dry and sensitive skin. And I happen to have, this is like a deluxe sample, I happen to have like 6 of these laying around. It was like every time I went to the counter, I ended up getting a little sample of this. And I just ended up kind of throwing them into my little sample area where I just have a ton of samples sort of piling up. And I was watching Flower Bomb 31, Natalie, and she was kind of raving about this. And I thought, you know what, let me just try it. Let me try a different day cream because I'd been using one moisturizer for so long. So anyway, I've been using this and I really love it. It's so creamy. It is so moisturizing and it's so nourishing. This is for dry skin. So if you kind of think you have dry skin, don't use this. This will be way too moisturizing for you. But I think if you're in your 40s, you've always had dry skin and your skin is just dry, try this out. It really feels like you're just kind of like pampering your skin, and it has this really wonderful, like very faint organic spa scent to it. It has linden blossom and mallow. And I think that helps with, I think the linden blossom helps with dry skin and the mallow helps with sensitive skin. Anyway, I've been loving this. I think I have one more of these in my sample area, but once I'm done with all of those, I'm definitely going to go out and get an actual jar of it. This has been a great day cream for me. Okay, I feel like I've been talking forever, yet I don't feel like my skincare is that intense. I guess it is. The final steps I do during the day are skin protection. So this is something very new to my routine. And this was something that I feel like I had been looking for, but didn't even know I was looking for it. So this is the All Day, All Year Essential Anti-Aging Day Cream from Sicily. Now, I went to the Sicily counter and I got a facial, like I had mentioned before. She was like, you have to use this. She's like, and you have to tell your friends all about this. I was like, all right, what does it do? So basically, we protect ourselves with SPF all the time, but that is from the sun's rays. She's like, what we don't protect ourselves from is from all the radiation from lighting, from our computer monitors, from our iPads, from our iPhones. She's like, those are just as damaging to your skin. And as she was kind of explaining to me like what this does and why we need this, and it's just as important as SPF, it was like I heard my mother's voice. When I was really little, I would sit up super close to the TV and watch it. And she was like, get back from the TV. It's too much radiation. And I remember her even saying that when I was older and, you know, computers were like relatively new and the monitors were huge and super deep. And I would be sitting there, you know, working on my computer super close. She'd be like, Michelle, sit back from your computer because of the radiation. And as the woman was talking to me about this, it was like I was recalling all of these things and all of these things that we used to be worried about, but we just sort of forgot because they're just part of everyday life. But it's not that they've gone away. So anyway, it really resonated with me. And I said, you know, I really avoid the sun. I am actually indoors a lot more than I am outdoors. And I'm in front of my computer screen. I'm on my phone. I read books off of my iPad. I sit here filming for you guys in front of my camera, in front of all of these lights. And I thought this is actually probably more important for my skin than SPF at this point because I really don't spend that much time outside. It's not like I seek it out. So this is generally the last thing I will put on my skin, and you just need like the littlest bit. It comes with a pump on top and it has this very interesting little spout. I think it keeps it airtight. because it's kind of rubberized. So the lotion kind of like squirts out, and then you can see this opening kind of close back up. So I think it keeps it very, very fresh. The woman at Sicily also mentioned that this has been recognized by the American Cancer Association. So that also made me feel better about this product. But you know, the thing about products like these is, well, one, I just started using it, and two, I can't tell you if it's working or not. It's like, we'll just have to see in like 30 years if it was worth it, if it was worth the effort. This has generally been my last step in my routine. And then if I do go out, I will put an SPF on. So if I haven't put on my makeup yet, I will generally reach for my Glossier Invisible Shield. This has an SPF 35. I'll just put this all over my face and my neck and my hands. And if I do have makeup on already and I don't want to mess it up, I will use my Kate Somerville Uncomplicated SPF Soft Focus Makeup Setting Spray, which has an SPF 50. So those are the two SPFs that I reach for. And so that is my morning routine, which I swear does not take me very long. But as I look at this table full of products, it really seems like I go hog wild. All right, so here is my evening routine. So I will remove my makeup. Even if I don't have makeup on, I will use, again, something like my Kogendo Cleansing Spa Water, just to kind of remove anything that is on my face. Hey guys, pardon this little interruption, but I was just going through my skincare routine and I was using something that I didn't mention in this video. So I thought I should just pop in and mention this because this is actually a big deal. But I think the reason why I forgot to mention this is because it's not actually a skincare product. But this is the face halo. Sorry, it's really gross because I was just using it. But this is a makeup remover. So this is one of those little microfiber little towels that, you know, when you wet it and you kind of rub it across your face, it removes a lot of makeup. So I only have 3 of them. I really need to buy more. And so I dirty them up pretty quickly. And then until I do laundry, I'm kind of forced to use my cleansing spa water to remove all of my makeup. But when I do have clean face halos, what I will do is remove as much makeup as I can with this, and then I'll go over with my cleansing spa water, but I only need to go over once. I did just want to mention this. This is really, really great. I think it does such a phenomenal job removing makeup. It really cuts down on how many of those little cotton pads I use. It really cuts down on the amount of cleansing spa water that I use. So these are really, really awesome, and you can get them in packs of 3, and like I just mentioned, I need to get more. So anyway, back to the video. But I will use this to remove my makeup if I do have a full face of makeup on. And then what I will do is then use a cleansing balm. I love this Retrove Luminous Cleansing Elixir. This is by far my favorite cleansing balm. It is so luxurious. It has the most amazing texture. This is actually a pump. When I first purchased this, I thought I was going to open it up and it was going to be a tub, but it's actually a pump. It's this really lovely sort of under the radar kind of product. It doesn't have any scent. I will say this was, it took me a while to kind of appreciate and love this product, because when I first used it, I was like, okay, you know, there was nothing that was like, ooh, wow, you know, there wasn't some like nice fresh scent. It didn't do anything fancy on my face. I just sort of spread it around and then I remove it with a warm towel, warm damp towel. And it was like, okay, you know, like my face feels clean, it feels nice. And I think it wasn't until I was almost done with the first bottle that I realized like really how good it is. It really removed the rest of my makeup. It really left my skin feeling so, so soft. I actually have one of my subscribers here. She tried this and she said that she felt her skin was a little bit dry after this. That was not my experience at all. This is a very, very rich kind of balm. There are a lot of different oils in here. And so it really cleansed my skin. It kept my skin very, very moisturized, but clean. There are a lot of cleansing balms out there that I feel like leave a very kind of like thin residue. So I won't necessarily feel dry in any way, but I also won't feel very clean. Or there are cleansing balms that I feel like really clean my skin, but I don't feel like I'm necessarily moisturized at the end. It cleanses my skin and I feel like it leaves it really, really balanced feeling. And then at that point, I basically do the same routine that I do in the morning. I'll tone my skin with toner. I will then go in with a serum, and then I will use my oil, the La Mer Renewal Oil. I'll use a neck cream. I'll use an eye cream, and then I will use a different actual cream. So I will use my La Mer Moisturizing Soft Lotion. I love this. This is definitely one of my holy grails. This is what I was using morning and night until until I started dabbling with this Sicily. I really love this, but this is extremely moisturizing. So now I'm just sort of using this at night and it's great. Some things of note. So I will exfoliate my skin once a week, and there's 2 exfoliators that I've been using. This is the Sicily Gentle Facial Buffing Cream. This is like such a good exfoliator. My skin feels like baby butt soft after I use this. This is a very, very interesting product, and I had to have the ladies at the counter explain to me how to use it, and the woman who gave me the facial, she used it on me and explained to me all the steps or whatever. So you need just a little bit. Here's the consistency. It's very, very thick, and you need a little bit just to kind of lay a light layer all over your face. And you don't want to use this in the shower. You don't want to use this under any wet or damp conditions. Your skin should be dry. And you should do this over a sink because it gets messy. So what happens is you start rubbing it into your skin and it starts drying up, and flakes of that buffing cream will just start to come off. And what it's doing is basically taking all the dead skin off at the same time. So you just kind of do it. And it probably takes, I don't know, I want to say maybe a total of 3 minutes to get all of it off. But you basically just want to keep rubbing and rubbing and rubbing until all of it dries up, balls up, and then starts to come off. And you'll feel like that there's nothing more to be rubbed, basically. And at that point, you can kind of take like a warm towel and just sort of wipe away any excess. Usually for me at that point, I'll just jump in the shower and I'll rinse my face off and then wash it with something gentle like this Josh Rosebrook Complete Moisture Cleanse. So that is one exfoliator that I like. The other one is this new one from La Mer. This is the Replenishing Oil Exfoliator. I hesitated in getting this because a lot of the reviews said that they thought the granules in here were a little bit too rough. So I was reading a lot of the comments on the La Mer site, and I was actually talking to the women at the La Mer counter at the Saks here in Vegas, and they recommend pouring some of the exfoliator out and then either wetting it with just water or wetting it with like a facial mist, like a little spray. So what I will do is I'll put some of this in my hand, and then I'll take my Josh Rosebrook Hydrating Accelerator Moisturizing Facial Mist. I'll just spray just like half a squirt in there, and I'll start to kind of rub it in my hand, and you'll feel the granules kind of break apart. And then I will start to put that on my face, and it's great. It is a really, really great exfoliator. So I've been really, really loving this one. Again, I don't have that kind of like sensitive skin. I really like physical exfoliants. I cannot use chemical exfoliants because of my eczema. My eczema will come out immediately if I use any kind of acids or anything like that. So that's why I like these very physical exfoliants. And then last but not least, I just want to mention the May Lindstrom, the Honey Mud. This is a gentle cleansing silk. And this is, I think, the second bottle that I'm on. And I'm about halfway through. And you can use this as a daily cleanser. It is a very interesting consistency. It's a little bit like sticky and a little bit thick. And I feel like it's a bit much for me as a daily cleanser. It's just a little bit too, I don't know, high maintenance for me as like a daily cleanser. So I will actually use this as a mask. So I feel like if my skin is feeling a little bit extra oily, and I will say that's probably right around that PMS time, I will just put like a pretty generous layer of this over my oilier areas, like the tip of my nose, my nostrils, my upper lip, my chin, and like a little bit further out here where I tend to get some breakouts when I'm premenstrual. And this tends to pretty much keep them at bay. So I really like this. I also like the smell of it. It's very organic, and it actually smells a lot like this Josh Rosebrook spray mist. And then speaking of facial mist, so I do love this Josh Rosebrook moisturizing facial mist. This is great. It's just really refreshing. It feels great on the skin. And then the same with this Kogendo Herbal Spa Mist. This is really great. And this bottle is metal. So the mist is actually a little bit cool. So it is so refreshing. The Kogendo mist definitely smells a little bit more, like a little bit more fresh, I guess, than the Josh Rosebrook. The Josh Rosebrook smells like the Honey Mud, which again, kind of smells like cocoa to me. I love this. And the mister on this is great. It's so great. Isn't that amazing? It's like so perfect. And I think that's it. There's not much else I do to my skin. I used to do more sheet masks. I've moved away from that. I'm just kind of lazy and I never remember to do it. But that's pretty much all I do for my skin. I pretty much just do everything at home. I've only ever had 2 actual facials, actual facials where they do like extractions or it's been like a microdermabrasion. I've only ever had 2 of those. I've had 2 like at the counter. I've had 2 like at the counter facials, like this one with Sicily, and then I had one with Tatcha when I was living in New York. That was nice. And then I had 1 IPL treatment in my life, and that is to kind of break up pigmentation, hyperpigmentation in your skin, and to kind of get rid of fine lines. And I think you're supposed to do that repeatedly, like in a cycle, but I only did it that one time. It was fine. But I've also gotten questions in the past. I don't have any fillers. I don't get Botox. I don't do anything. Like I've never done anything to my face. I just don't think to do that. And I just think that's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort that I am not willing to put in. I also don't like being poked and prodded at. So like, I don't like getting manicures and pedicures. Hate going to the dentist. So that was my skincare in a nutshell. I feel like I've been talking forever. So leave any questions down below in the comments section. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in my next video.